All my dogs, make some noise up in this house.
Who is in the house? Who is in the house? It's the gangster of destruction, so you know what's going down.
Good evening, everybody. This is your host, Huge Pop, on the Huge Pop Entertainment presents Wrestling Rewind Wednesdays with my buddy Bill Struthers. He is known for his action figures creations. We'll get into that in a minute. But man, I met this guy about a month ago through Facebook and did some chatting, and we said, "What the hell? Let's make a show," and we're gonna go every Wednesday, 8:30 to 9:30, or closer to that. I don't know, whatever time we get. We're busy people. So we're going to do what we're going to do. We're going to talk about some old school wrestling throughout the months. Wednesdays, we have some interviews coming up. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But tonight's just going to be like a kind of an introduction video, show. Love to hear you guys in the chat, see what you guys want to say about what we're trying to talk about. Well, we're just going to share about ourselves and what we like as a wrestling fan, and what experiences we've had so far. And then next week will be something different. So join us every week if you're interested in wrestling. I'd love to hear your opinions. I'd love to hear your comments. If you don't like us, that's cool too. Tell us. I don't care. That's what the wrestling world does. They tell each other that they don't like each other. Hey, but all I ask, for my sake and my friend Bill's sake, is keep it pleasant and not be rude. That's all. You don't have to like what we say, but if I don't like what you say, I'm not going to bash you either. So that's what we're all about, right? We're wrestling fans. And I heard somebody say it the other day on TikTok. There is so much wrestling out there. There's indies. There's old school. There's people that watch the ECWs, the legends. There's people that watch the current stuff. People that can't stand the current stuff. They watch independent wrestling. You got TNA, you got ROH, you got GCW, got OVW, got WWE, AEW. As a fan, there's a lot of stuff out there, guys. I might not like it. You may not like what I like, but let's get along and we have a good time on this show. Again, I would encourage fan interaction. If you have a question, you have a statement, feel free to make it. Just be respectful, right?
Absolutely.
So let's open it up, man, because we're not wrestlers, but I love this question, right? Bill, what was it like for you growing up as a wrestling fan?
Hectic. So my grandmother was a big wrestling fan in the 80s. She was the Hulk Hogan fangirl of the year. She had the fan club, everything. My father watched it in the 90s. And then by the time I came around to watching it in like 2002, they were pretty much stopped watching it. So I got to get my family back together over wrestling.
Okay.
So it was hectic for a while. A lot of fights back and forth about who's the good guy, who's the bad guy. But it got everybody together, and everybody would sit down every week and watch it. So it was a beautiful madness.
All right. So did you guys sit down as a family and watch it?
Yes. So back when I was 5 or 6, my father and my grandmother, we'd all sit around in the living room and we'd watch Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown. We couldn't afford the pay-per-views much, but we'd watch every week. We'd watch the main two.
Okay.
And then
awesome. Yeah.
I'd find the other shows like the TNA or the ECW as it was dying out. I'd find them here and there. I found some XPW once in a while. But always stuck with WWE because WCW was already dead by the time I started watching on a religiously weekly basis.
Okay, fair. Now I remember when I was a kid. Probably I didn't start watching wrestling probably till I was like a freshman in high school. I really, and I was that guy that couldn't afford the pay-per-views, but I had friends that had big satellite dishes. If you know, back in the '80s, satellite dishes, and one of my friends did come to school bragging about the pay-per-view they got to watch, and I'm like, dang, and I never could go to their houses and stuff. But I watched it back then. One of my favorite memories I can think of. I could see King Kong Bundy and Hogan in a Saturday Night's Main Event with the legit steel cage.
Yes, that big blue steel cage.
Big blue steel cage. I mean, we'll talk about that later, but what, one of my questions I'm going to ask you a little later, what's the moment you, I'll tell you, not the match wasn't that, not that I care about the match, but Saturday Night's Main Event with the steel cage, the rod that looked meaner than mean.
You're starting to crackle out, Scott.
Is that better?
Yes, that's better.
So I remember just how that structure looked, and
It looked mean.
yeah. So then we got into it. We watched it as high school, and throughout that, and then I went to college, got married, and I took a break from wrestling. And I was like sitting on my couch one day, and I was like, flip through it. Is there any wrestling going on? So I flipped through it, and I happened to catch one of my favorite moments in wrestling, and I just got hooked. So I'll say the favorite moment, then we'll talk about it later on because that's one of my questions. I got re-hooked at Bash at the Beach.
Oh, 97?
97.
96.
96, Bash at the Beach, Daytona Beach.
Yep.
We all know what happened there. It's everybody's history favorite. I mean, I thought it was one of the coolest moments in wrestling history.
Absolutely.
So, but that's how I got into wrestling. That's how I got. That's one of my how I grew up. I didn't get to watch much of it. I watched the cartoons, Rock and Wrestling, and
love that cartoon.
Those were great. I remember Cyndi Lauper and Lou Albano. I got to, but I only seen it on Saturday Night's Main Event.
Right.
So I really couldn't. So I'm going to tell you a story, real quick, funny story about wrestling before I got married. Saturday Night's Main Event, I have a brother that's 10 years younger than me. So I met my wife at 19, 20 years old. So you got to see my brother's 10, right? So I lived in my mom's house, my mom and dad's house. They lived in the chalet, and I stayed upstairs across the hallway from me. My brother stayed there. I talked about Saturday Night's Main Event all day long. And one of my rules my mom had for me was do not let your brother into your room to watch that crap. And I can just hear my mom. He's only 10 years old. He's got to go, he's got to get up early. He's got to get his night, right? He's got to go to church tomorrow. I'm like, okay. So mom and dad went to bed, I thought, it's Saturday Night's Main Event. That's when it started at 10 o'clock at night, right?
Yep.
And my brother, all of a sudden I hear that ding, 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 knock on my door. He goes, Scott, can I come in? I said, dude, we're going to get in trouble. I'll be quiet, I promise. Okay, cool. So he came in, and the next match was Sid Vicious against, I don't even remember who he was against. But Sid Justice was the one that said, what's that I smell? I smell a power bomb.
Yes.
So I said those words, and I hoisted my brother up in the power bomb position, and I power bombed him into my bed. His feet went this from here to here, kicked the lampshade, the light fixture on the ceiling. The lampshade comes crashing down. Mind you, my bedroom's over top of my mom and dad's bedroom.
Oh, they heard it all.
They heard it all. Needless to say, Matt didn't watch the rest of that show, and neither did I.
Nope. That one got shut off.
I got shut off real quick. So my next bullet point I have for you, Bill, is what moment in wrestling got you hooked to the point of no return?
So for live moments, it was 2002, Triple H's return, that denim leather jacket combo return right before or after the Rumble in 2002. But that was such a great moment for me to see live that I just had to watch every week. There was that, and there was that Stone Cold package. I thought, I was a kid at the time, I thought it was a tribute package. Remember when they played My Sacrifice by Creed with all that Stone Cold pictures?
Yes.
I thought it was a tribute video. I didn't know it was a comeback video. It got me hooked because I had to figure out where it was going.
Yeah, Absolutely.
And then he came
100%.
back, and it was boom. Austin was always one of my top favorites. Him and Triple H, they got me hooked originally, and then I spiraled into the big world of wrestling after that. And then that's when my grandmother started showing me all her stuff.
Right. Absolutely. I mean, again, I said it about 5 seconds ago. 1996, Bash at the Beach.
Mm-hmm.
Prior to that, we had the Outsiders with Hall and Nash wreaking havoc on WCW, and that storyline was intense, right?
That was one of the best storylines I've ever heard. I've ever seen.
I mean, that to me, if we're gonna maybe another episode later on, another Wednesday night, we can do best storylines, right?
Yes.
And that storyline until the Bloodline storyline 5 years
Yeah.
ago
Yeah.
was the best storyline. Even before Hogan dropping the leg at the beach, you had Hall and Nash messing with everybody.
Hall showing up, jumping the barricade.
Yeah.
That was just pure,
Yes.
pure
And so
great wrestling.
I see that, and then the next Monday or whatever show they did on, I wanted to go back and watch it again, watch more.
Yeah, you gotta know what happens.
We gotta know what happens, right? You know, and that was I think Monday Night Wars started happening. You know,
Yes.
and, yeah, you know, you wanted to watch it, so you wanted to see what Hall and Nash were going to go do next. And I was fooled. I didn't realize Bischoff was part of this whole thing.
As the kid that didn't get to watch it live, I still didn't realize Bischoff was behind the whole thing, and I went back and watched it, and then figured it out. I was like, damn.
Right. So good. So good, you know?
When WWE Network put it all out, I rewatched all of that stuff. It was so great to watch.
Absolutely. And then you get to the pay-per-view, and I'm watching this, and who's the mystery man? You know, and Macho Man's getting beat up, and you know, down comes Hogan. I'm like, oh my god, he's gonna help Macho.
He's there to save WCW.
He's gonna save WCW. Nope. He pushed the referee out of the way, dropped the leg, and there we go. NWO started. That to me, that got me hooked, and I haven't stopped watching since. You know, I'll watch a little bit here and there. More so, I have my my likes and dislikes, but I watch it. So, let's talk about. I don't know if we want to do 5. So I mentioned on the list. Talk about your 2 top, if you can, 2 top favorite wrestlers.
2 top favorite wrestlers. I mean, they've changed a lot over the years, but I've settled on Hulk Hogan and the Sandman in my stage of life now. Those are my top 2.
Fair. Why?
Hulk Hogan, because I think a lot of that has to do with my grandmother loving him so much, but the man was just the top of the food chain for wrestling for so long.
Right.
And for Sandman, he was the common man in my eyes. I didn't get to see Dusty be the common man live. I got to see Sandman show ECW the common man kind of live. And that kind of brought light to, you know, if he can do it, maybe anybody can do this, and train him right. And he did really good. He pretty much carried ECW with a lot of help, but he made it interesting for me. And when I met him, it was a really great moment.
Awesome. So we got Dan here. First of all, Dan, make sure you hit the follow and subscribe button to the YouTube channel. Thank you for coming into contact and the comments. His favorite 2 are Edge and Randy. Can't argue about that. Edge and Randy, man, two of the tops. You know.
Yeah, absolutely.
For me, it was Sting, and man, that second one's hard. I would say Hulk Hogan. Yeah, Hogan. I mean, you know, I don't care. He had some stuff. He said some stuff. Everybody's said some stuff.
I just don't think wrestling would be it the way it is today without him.
Would not be it if it was the way. No, not at all. And I like Sting. My number 1 is Sting. I'll be honest with you. I paid $300 to stand in line to get his autograph and meet him. So no, $250 to meet him.
Worth every penny.
Well, it was worth every penny of it. I mean, that character, even in AEW, when he was there in AEW, that was phenomenal to watch him do it. And
I loved his last little ride over there. That was great.
That was great. You know, with Darby Allin, I loved, you know, he's a mini Sting almost.
Absolutely.
I loved his kids in his final match. That was epic to show how they did that. He deserves that kind of farewell. But Sting will always be my favorite.
I can't
Not
argue
so,
that.
not so much Surfer Sting. I did like when Surfer Sting and Luger were together. I like that, but I remember that. But I remember Sting, man, when he disappeared to the rafters,
The Crow. Yep.
bro, and he was, and I think he hit a lot of people's hearts because he was done. He was done with this stupid foolishness, and
Hmm.
it was that kind of storyline that I loved, and he did that. He did it well,
Yeah, he
very
really
well.
did. He sat there and just he carried WCW as a Surfer Sting, and then when he was done, he just shut up and nobody heard anything from him. And then boom, there he is in the rafters. Like it was a
Yep,
big shock, and it was a really good storyline for that too.
absolutely. So everybody knows we want to touch on this why we're doing this Wednesday show because we're two wrestling fans that love to share our content, love to share our love for the sport, and we both come at different angles. He has different stories, I have different stories, we have different opinions, and we decided that because we're going to talk about his next thing, we're going to talk about one more thing, then we're going to get into what Mr. Bill does for a living. So, but we're just here to share our stories and have some old school legends on, or some guys from the Indies, and we'll talk about that in a little while.
Hmm.
So that's what we want from this show. So first question is, give me some highlights of people of wrestlers you met.
So top of the line was the Sandman. I stood in line down in Queens, and I got to meet Shane Douglas, Francine, and the Sandman all in one day, one session, one place. And it was hot. It was really hot that day, and I was just so excited. It was my second meet and greet, and it was just so starstruck when I got in there. I could barely talk because the Sandman's always been one of my favorites. I mean, I got like 7 autographs that day, I think, just from him.
Wow,
Just from
wow,
him.
awesome.
Another good one's got to be Mick Foley.
Yeah.
I stood in the mall in the middle of Albany,
Okay.
and I was bringing my service dog with me, and I did that for the first 2 sessions, or for the first 2 meet and greets I went to. I brought my service dog with me. The first one, Rob Van Dam requested his own photo op with the dog.
Nice, nice.
He was so happy. Raven pet the dog that day too, and then Mick Foley had to pet the dog. He is such an animal lover. He is
Nice.
great, and he was. Mick Foley commented on my shirt. I wore an ECF&W shirt. He's like,
Okay.
that's the first ECW shirt I've seen all day, and I've been here for hours. He was
Nice.
just so happy to see an ECW shirt, and I had him sign the ECW ringside exclusive Cactus Jack. He
Okay.
was he was so happy. I think I was the first one to get it in. I believe it was white. Yeah, white. I was the first one to get it in white.
Okay.
And then the other highlight is I went to a convention in Rhode Island, and there had to be 20, 30 people. I met Kane, Haku. Haku's paws are huge. That man's got some big hands. I got some big hands, but that guy dwarfed my hands.
Wow.
And then I talked to Buff Bagwell for a good 20 minutes that day. Almost ran nose to nose into Mr. Hughes.
Okay.
He was
Nice.
walking around the corner. I didn't see him, and boom, almost ran right into him.
Nice. Nice.
Devon was great to talk to. And then I went on this one down in Massachusetts. I went to meet Bull Nakano.
Okay.
She was a great lady. She spoke very good English, and she signed up. I think it was a little rubber band like figure. She was very happy, very like one-on-one. Should thank everybody personally. She was very good.
Nice.
So I mean, I get starstruck a lot with them, and then now, I mean, I consider these meet and greets. I have these phone calls and video chats and conference calls with legends almost every week, and the starstruck doesn't go away. You just keep climbing the ladder, and they've all been really good. Pitbull was great. He was very into the custom figure project. We'll get into that later, but I've had a lot of great meet and greets.
Awesome. My first meet and greet was at a place called Pensacon here in Pensacola. I got to sit with the APA. I got to sit with Bradshaw and oh come on, oh where's that?
Farouk.
Bradshaw and yeah, Farouk. Sorry, I lost it. Yeah, so Bradshaw, Farouk. I got to sit with them. I met Ruby Soho.
Ooh.
Um, that was a good pick. That was a good thing. Um, so that was my first one, and then my second wrestler, River City, not River City, but Pensacon. I got to meet Jungle Boy.
Oh, nice.
That was a good. That was a good. Good gig. And then I got to the last wrestler Pensacon I met. Rikishi and Samu again, and those guys. Samu, man, is one of my long time. It's one of my friends, one of my favorite guys. He's a cool dude, down to earth dude. The
Mhm.
WWE chair behind me. That was the chair that was in the episode of Raw for Tribal Court,
Oh,
where
no. Really?
the Anawana family sat ringside.
Wow.
So that's a chair, and he signed the chair. So that's the
That's pretty awesome.
30th anniversary of Raw.
That's a really good piece right there.
Yeah, so I got that and got a good deal on it. I'll tell you, I paid $100 for it. But you go to conventions, they're $300 and some dollars.
Oh, easy. Yeah.
But it's not about the chair. It was about meeting Samu and
Mhm.
Samu. I met Samu right after Alpha died.
Oh.
So that was kind of a humbling thing. And Sika, those
Mhm.
the Anawana family. It's one of my favorite. You think about that. They're on my Facebook. You watch the way they celebrate life,
Hmm.
and I'm like, man, I wish everybody could celebrate life like that.
Absolutely.
Just like on I was just gonna take a piece of Raw last night. One of my favorite parts of Raw was when Paul Heyman was out there with Bronson Reed and Roman Reigns was in the middle of the ring, and Paul Heyman had the guts to bring up Alpha and Sika. I don't know if
Oh
you
boy.
watched it. He brought up
I didn't catch it yet, but
and I'm like, oh my god, about how often Sika threw garbage back. He made fun of the barbecues that they threw, etc.,
oh no.
etc. And I'm like, dude, part of me is like, it's too soon to do
Yeah.
that. It's only been a year. But
Yeah.
Roman Reigns must have knew about it because he stayed right in character.
Mhm.
And his words was, he goes, Paul, he goes, my family really well. He goes, well, let me ask you something. What do you think my dad would say if he heard you say what you just said?
Yeah.
And my dad would say, go fight their asses right now.
Hmm.
And whatever. So, so that's one of my good meet and greets. I had an opportunity, man. I'll tell you. I went to River City WrestleCon over in Jacksonville, Florida.
Hmm.
I missed it this last year, but I went 2 years ago. I'm going to try to go here again. I had a vendor table there. Probably one of the best $150 I spent for a 2-day event. I got 2 chairs. I got 2 tickets, to walk around the place. I met so many cool people.
Oh, I'm
I
sure.
I mean I had a beer with Tatanka on his birthday.
Oh, that's awesome.
Me, Tatanka, a friend of mine named Joe, Tatanka's wife, my wife Edie. We all sat around the bar having drinks to celebrate his birthday.
That's awesome.
That was cool. I went around during the day. I got to sit for 20 minutes with Jimmy Hart.
Wow.
That was just to sit with him and talk about my podcast and talk about real life and wrestling and how the business is.
Hmm.
You can't, an autograph wouldn't even, I didn't get an autograph, but that 20 minutes of just sitting there listening to him and talking and him just talking to me and him let me talk was amazing.
Oh, absolutely.
I had Austin Aries at my booth. Austin Aries is one of my good friends. So
Wow.
he's coming back on the show sometime by the end of the year.
That'll be
So
awesome.
he was on my show on the at the table with me all weekend long. I got to meet AJ Francis,
Mhm.
some indie guys. I got to meet those guys. Right down the road from me, down the table from me is Teddy Long.
Ooh.
That was an interesting engagement. I'm not going to speak on that. I don't want to. But that was a Boogeyman, Sting, Matt Riddle.
Riddle.
Holy crap! That
Riddle.
was probably one of my highlights of the weekend. Honestly, he did a commercial with me. He held a huge pop wrestling podcast cup. So we had to do a little promo introduction for help promote huge pop,
That's great.
and it was fun. But this dude, man, I'll never forget Riddle. He's of course he has his own
Oh yeah.
brand, whatever. And I'll be honest with you, I take chocolate to go to sleep.
hmm
I take 4 squares.
Mm.
That's it.
Yeah.
He had a whole bar.
I know about that a bit.
In the middle of the day. I'm like, dude. And he just like eating it, man.
Oh
But
yeah, you keep going.
he was legit. He was the legit dude. I could go on and on. There's so many people I talked to that I didn't get autographs for, but I talked to them, and man, it was incredible.
Oh,
That was a hell of an experience. I want to be able to take the podcast. There's you, there's me, there's my brother, there's Rico, there's George, there's Reese, who lives in the UK. There's about 6 or 7 of us, man. I want sometime, some way to be able to meet at a convention like that.
that'll be awesome.
That'd be fun. So that's our meet and greet section. I don't want to get too far into this. I want to give you time to talk about what you do. I know you are again, my buddy's name is Bill, and he interesting thing, and I'll just say what he does. He's a figure creator. And now I'm going to let you talk about what you do.
So basically, I customize already existing figures into other attires, other personas, other people by part swapping, painting, decals, altering almost any piece of the figure you can imagine. So I started out with this Hulk Hogan here. This was the first custom from Reapers Wrestling Customs. This is the 1996 Bash at the Beach on the left with the 1998 Starcade on the right. It goes from the night he went NWO into some of his big moments in NWO. And that was the first one I did. And then I followed with a few other small, easy ones after that. And I kind of eased my way into it. And then I started getting up into real part swapping later. But I did a few other Hulk Hogan's. I took that basic they had of his workout gear, and I decided I'd do an ultimate version of it. So more articulation, better headband, stuff like that. And then I took the purple cape, white singlet, made a black singlet. I always saw this one over the white. And then for part swapping, you take a little figure and you make a little Mean Gino Mania back when he was kind of wrestling with Hulk Hogan. And then this is one of my favorites. This is the jacket for the 1997 Halloween Havoc Lightning Bolt strapped into a Slim Jim Macho Man. It's not fully accurate. It's a lot of custom. It's a lot of just piecing together, hat and everything else. But it was a very fun project, and it's pretty close to accurate, and it's got a lot going for it. And then on your Samoan Family Dynasty over here, I've got Sammy the Silk and Big Matty Smalls.
There you go.
Too hard to. They've done a Rosie figure. They've never done a Sammy the Silk figure. I don't think we'll get ECW Samoans out of Mattel, but maybe they see these things and they like to go take it and make it theirs.
Right.
I've had a couple of that happen already.
So, tell us about the process. Now, do you reach out to wrestlers, legends?
So,
and who is one of the most what are some of the guys you've been working with currently and in the past?
All right, so it started with a man by the name of Ryan Collins. We'll get more on him later, but he is a figure enthusiast, and
Okay.
he used to wrestle. So I reached out to him, and I decided I wanted a custom Brian Breaker figure, which was his persona when he was at NXT.
Right.
And I wanted his input on the gear, input on the looks, input on this head looks right, all the parts. And so this started the thing for me. It was like, all right. So then I reached out to Kid Cash,
Okay.
and I made one of him. Swapped a few things, and so I started getting a little trend with it, and I like the ECW stuff. So I
Okay.
reached out to Bay Ragnar, Chubby Dudley,
Yeah.
and with his help and a little bit of help from Sign Guy Dudley, I ended up with every Dudley in the ECW Dudley family
Okay.
because I had to have it. And
Yeah.
I like working with these guys. I worked with Pitbull #1. Who else? The Beast Glenn Osborne. He was a good one I worked with. Uh, Jimmy Janetti.
Okay.
Joel Gertner was one of my favorites to work with too. Who's very, very, and they're very into it too. A lot of these guys, they will tell you exactly what they're looking for, and they get nitpicky, and it's great because they know them better than anybody else. Bill Alfonso is one of my favorite people to work with on these projects. He was so into it, every little detail. He'd call me every other week just to hammer out the details. And I'm finally proud to say I'm shipping his figure out within the next few days to his office of him. So he is going to be the second person to hold one of my figures of that represents them. Jim Molyneux, we had him on the show a couple weeks ago. He was the first to get a figure of mine in his hands.
Nice.
And
So these are one of ones, right?
Mostly, yes. So I leave it up to the talent. A lot of them are one of ones. I have recreated some of my works. I try to never exactly duplicate
Okay.
because I don't think anything should be the same twice.
Right. Absolutely.
So
100%.
a lot of it is one of one or very close to one of one.
That's nice, man.
And most recently we've had I've reached out to who did we reach out? Oh, Damian Kane, lesser known name from ECW. He used to be a manager. I reached out to him. He's interested in a project, and I think it'll work out very nicely. I reached out to a lot of the ECW guys. I'm nitpicking my way through them. I mean, I don't turn away anybody particularly. If we can't agree on a parts list and we can't agree that something looks good enough for a figure, then we separate and walk like clean slate, walk away, but no
Right.
hard feelings on it. I like to keep everything very positive with these, and I mean, I feel honored to work with these guys, and I'm sure they're honored to get a figure that they probably didn't get to get when they were wrestling.
100%. 100%. I'm gonna. It's a process. So.
You go, Scott.
You there?
All right. So the process is a lot of parts picking. So another friend of mine, Michael Morris, we'll see him in a couple of weeks. He sent me a lot of parts, like 5, 6, 7 boxes of parts. That's when it really started picking up, and I stopped nitpicking of who I was going to do customs of because I had all these flood of parts, and I just started hammering out customs. And it's a lot of really picky parts because you want to get the face just right, and I just barely got a 3D printer so I can print my own heads. I'm not there yet, but I'm getting there. So a lot of it was trying to find somebody's head that looks like who you're working on. Like for Pitbull, I used Drew McIntyre's head.
Okay.
It's not exact, but it's close.
Right. Right.
So that's what a lot of it was in the beginning, and now I'm getting better equipment and stuff like that. So it's going to be a lot of more detailed, actual one of ones because I'll be able to print it myself.
So you're just going to be printing the head, right? Or are you going to be printing the whole body too?
I mean, if it takes printing a whole body, I'll print a whole body.
Wow. That's
I
insane,
don't
man.
want to print a whole body, but I will if I have to.
That's insane. So just give us an idea, like you gotta go out and buy the parts. Obviously, you gotta find the parts from and where you take them from. How much does it cost
Right.
for a figure to be made?
So an average one takes about 3 Mattel branded figures as they are to make one custom figure because you got certain parts you got to swap over. So you average about $60 to $100 in just parts alone, not including papers, printing, paint, all that. So it gets upward to $120 quick.
Wow. So you paint everything as well.
Oh yeah, most of this. I mean, sometimes the skin tone matches from the figure you're using, but a lot of it's hand painted, time, and custom clothing. I hand sew all the clothing now. I've been sticking to t-shirts mostly, but I did do a couple pairs of pants. But it's hand sewn clothes. It's hand printed decals. It's all custom graphic imaging. It's a lot of time, but it's really worth it because it's your work and it's one of a kind.
So now, do you have help with your wife? Does she help you do some of that stuff?
So yes, she does. She is my best critic.
Okay.
If
All
I
right.
don't
Fair.
have it, if I don't have it right, she lets me know, and she's very
Fair.
good with it. If I got the scaling wrong, if I got the decal shades wrong, she's very good with color picking. Like
Okay.
she's been very helpful with a lot, and she takes care of most of the secretary work.
Nice. 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 So, um, they can reach out to you on Facebook, right? Any indie wrestler, any wrestler that legend, anybody that sees this video, they can reach
Oh
out to you on Facebook. Where can they reach you on at?
yes, absolutely. So there's my Facebook that's under Bill Struthers, and then I believe my Instagram's under the same title, or it's under Hillbilly Bill 94. And
Okay.
that'll be the email it's under. So they can reach me on Instagram and Facebook mostly. I do have my number available on both of those pages. That way they can reach me on phone if they want. I know a lot of the talent prefers phone calls, especially like Buff Bagwell, Bill Alfonso, they prefer phone calls.
Right.
So I do leave that publicly available in case they want to do it that way.
Okay.
But that's the main two I have available right now.
Well,
And
Bill,
all my work is posted on my Instagram page.
nice, nice. So if you want to check out Bill
I would,
Struthers' work on Instagram, that's where everything is.
yeah.
He mentioned Buff Bagwell, so just a huge pop entertainment
Yeah.
moment. October 23rd, Buff Bagwell will be on the show, sharing his stories from wrestling all the way to his recent life altering stuff he's going through. So can't wait for that. Buff Bagwell
I'll be
again,
watching that one.
October 23rd. Um, so
That'll
like
be a
you
good
said,
show.
he's done Bill Alfonso and he's done Jim Millinax. You
Molyneux.
know,
Molyneux.
Molyneux. He's done those guys. I'm excited to see how the work he's doing. I'm excited for this new venture. And we got a little bit more to talk about. So I want to promote one thing real quick. I one of my things I do. I go to live indie events and I film and I broadcast and reaction videos to indies. Let me tell you, there's so many people doing indie or so many people doing pro wrestling reaction videos to WWE, AEW, all of that stuff. I decided, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
I want to do indie wrestling reactions. So one of the things I do is I go to Panama City Beach, which is like an hour away from me, and I have this group of people I follow. XIW, Extreme Impact Wrestling, got Suge White, Damian Wayne, Bubba Shattuck, Salazar, Raza Raleigh, Lucha Lacora, Romeo Cueveta, and Zane Stevens. To mention, they're just a few of them. But they're a great indie show. Their next show is October 18th. I will have an interview roundtable with Adrian Whisper and Suge White and Jackson Slade of XIW on the 17th. So can't wait for that. But yeah, XIW, Come out and check them out. So I wanted to plug them real quick. So Ryan Collins was mentioned by Bill, and I want to just say a part of the podcast that Bill and I want to do is interview legends, indie guys, etc. Now we don't, we want to focus more on the legends and indies, and so one guy on October 15th, Ryan Collins, will be on the show. I can't wait for that. That's going to be a good one. I'm glad that Bill knows him a little bit, so he can have quite a few good questions because I got to do my research. So, and then
He's
on the
20th, I
20th,
think we'll dig into it.
awesome. And then the 29th, we have Murder Juice Mike. Mike, what's his last name?
Michael Morris.
Michael Morris. Murder Juice.
Yes.
What his Instagram is? That's on his Instagram. So come on October 29th and check out Murder Juice and Mike Morris. So that's that on that one. So those are upcoming interviews. If we can fill another interview between the 15th and 29th, we will. If not, we'll have a topic type of podcast. So some of the kind of topics that we might talk about are, for instance, I'm going to ask Bill, who was the greatest jobber in wrestling history, in your opinion?
Al Snow.
Okay, yeah. Al Snow.
Al Snow was great. He would job to a jobber.
Yeah, he would. Yeah, he would. Absolutely. Man, I can't. Jobbers. If I think of jobbers, we have had a couple jobbers on our show. Let me see. Who would I say was a jobber on my show? Let me see. Maybe I'll show a picture of the guy. Yeah. Beer Bruiser. That's the guy.
Oh, yes.
Jobber.
Yep.
So those kind of guys come out, I appreciate those guys too, because they take the time and come on the show with you and share their stories. Whether they're a jobber or they're not, they come on and show this. Ellsworth, yes. Dan, you're right.
Yes.
Ellsworth, I mean, oh my God, jobber,
I mean, we can't forget about Gilbert.
Gilbert, yes. So hey, Dan Fennelly, please hit that subscribe button on that YouTube channel. Thank you. But yeah, so jobbers. So who was the greatest pure wrestler of all time?
Greatest pure wrestler. Toss up between Kurt Angle and Bret Hart.
I like Dean Malenko.
Yes, I'll give you that. Dean Malenko was absolutely one of the best pure wrestlers. Man had 1,000 holds and then some.
Yes. What was the best wrestling theme song of all time? Wrestling song. Entrance.
I don't think anything was more pump you up than Road Dogg's "Oh, You Didn't Know."
Yeah. How about this one? I love this one. You think you know me?
Oh yeah, that everybody knew it.
Yeah. So in your opinion,
the amount of theme songs they sing along to nowadays, if that was in the 90s, you imagine that?
Oh my God. Oh my God, right? So in your opinion, is the wrestling back in the day when we were watching it, first got into it, was it better or worse than today's stuff?
I mean, if we draw the line somewhere in the middle between when you started and when I started, I believe we'd end up somewhere around 95, 96, and I think it would be completely better than today's, just on the way they could tell a story alone and the amount of time it took to play out.
Absolutely. 100% agree with you. What's the worst or most ridiculous gimmick a wrestler has ever had?
Oh, can we count the gobbledygooker?
That's the first thing that came to my mind.
Bastion Booger.
People are
Damian
gonna hate.
Demento?
People are gonna hate me. I never, ever, ever understood why I had to watch this dude on TV. Doink the Clown.
Oh, Doink.
I was not a fan. I couldn't get behind it. I'm like, this
I
is
could understand it. I could, because everybody hated clowns and they wanted to hate Doink.
it's just it was ridiculous. So a wrap up question, man. Matt and Jeff Hardy. Are you fans of Hardy Boys?
I have been a fan on and off of them throughout the years, and they are doing great. They are doing something great right now.
Last night they made history.
They did.
And
I don't know how I feel about the history.
So yeah, that was the question. That's a question that I have, and my brother about 3 weeks ago when they won the TNA titles, he about lost it because he felt that it should have been a TNA tag team, right? But I said to him, I said, watch what's happening because they're setting up for Bound for Glory, I think that's coming up with Bubba, Bubba Ray and Bully Ray, Devon and Bull,
Team 3D.
Yeah, for one last match.
Yep.
And last night they went in NXT and won the titles from the NXT people. What is your opinion? What is your opinion on a TNA brand coming to NXT and winning the NXT brand?
If they don't combine the titles, I can enjoy it. If they combine the titles, I that's where I draw the line. I didn't like it when they did it with WCW, and I don't like it if they're going to do it now.
Okay, so you're a fan.
I agree WWE has too many titles, but TNA is a separate entity and should stay a separate entity. I don't think they should combine it. I think it can be ran on its own, and it's been doing good on its own. I don't mind the crossovers. I just don't want to see TNA die because WWE eats it like they did WCW.
100% agree. Can't disagree. So,
I wish Vince would have thought outside the box back in 2001 and let WCW do its thing.
Absolutely.
Compete with it on your own, like they did Raw and SmackDown. I was so pissed that they ate WCW just to split Raw and SmackDown and make them compete.
Right. 100%.
It made no sense.
Can't disagree. Before we close the show, I would like to pay respect to one of my friends that I met on this show a couple weeks ago. I've been talking to him for a couple of years, trying to get him on the show, and it just wouldn't work out, And very, very interesting dude. I want to give a shout out to. I'm going to say PG-13. Wolfie D.
Wolfie D. Okay.
All right. So he wrote a book. He just finished the book, and here's his book. Go find it on Amazon.
I'll go look.
The book is called A Tale of Two Wolves. He pulls apart his childhood, his career, how he got into the career, sleeping in an empty space, to all these stories. Wolfie D candidly recounts his struggles with addiction, betrayal, near career-ending events, and the demons that nearly consumed him, balanced against the friendships, family, and conviction that helped him endure. With stories that are hilarious, heartbreaking, brutal, and honest, A Tale of Two Wolves isn't just a wrestling memoir. It's a story of survival, redemption, and the choices we all face about which wolf we feed. Go get it. I told my wife, she laughed at me because I have John Moxley's book, I have Austin Aries' book, I have Diamond Dallas Page's book, and every book I say I'm going to read them. I open the cover and I don't read them. This one, I'm going to read. I mean, and it's interesting. I love it because he did sign the book. You said to Huge Pop Entertainment, that's us. Thanks for the support. Enjoy the book, Wolfie D, Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame 2024. That's awesome, man. And so shout out to Wolfie D. Go to Amazon, buy the book, A Tale of Two Wolves. buy the book, guys, because let me tell you something. These larger than life superstars, whether you believe it or not, if you listen to their stories, and we've had lots of guys on the show share stories of addiction, struggles, where they're at now, i.e., Buff Bagwell will be on the 23rd with a leg. He just got his prosthetic. These guys, if you haven't heard of Cauliflower Alley Club, sign up for the Cauliflower Alley Club. I'm going to do it this year. This supports the wrestlers, and if I have to pay somebody $25 to get an autograph, that is the way they make a living. That is the way they keep food on the table. I'm not trying to encourage you to go spend money on legends of the business, but support the people, the guys you loved watching. I mean, they're in a business that of addiction. There's addiction, there's struggles that they're going through. They're hurt, injuries, so on and so forth. So go and check them out. Reach out to them. Try to support however you want to support them. Bill, it was a great pleasure sitting with you last week.
I got one more before we close out.
All right, go ahead.
This is the latest and greatest Razor Ramon custom I've done. So this is straight from the artist Tom Fleming, the original concept artist for Razor Ramon. This is the gear Razor refused to wear because he wanted to show off his legs.
Nice.
This is what it was going to be. This is the original design, down to the T, brought to you by me through Tom Fleming's art.
Nice. That's awesome. That's pretty sick. So I've enjoyed myself. Thank you guys for coming on. The three that are the two. Thank you, Dan and Dan, for subscribing to our channel. That's two people that we got off the show.
Thank you.
We appreciate that. This will allow us to keep on keeping on, man. And
Absolutely.
we're gonna put on some. Hold on. Oh, murder! Murder Mike. I want to see if I can. I'm gonna share this this intro. He did a.
Promo.
Did a promo for us. Hold on. I'm gonna see if I can get this.
Yes.
Guys, here at Huge Pop Entertainment, we're raw, uncut. I don't go back and I don't cut it. I true live it, and if you don't like it, so I'm gonna share this.
It's Eric. I haven't seen this yet. Is there a warning label that goes with it?
I don't know. I haven't seen it yet either. So we're gonna share it.
I like Mike. Mike's great.
Ready? So we're gonna share this. I'm gonna let it pop up on the screen. Here we go. I want to see what he says. So, again, got to know Murder Mike, October 29th. You guys ready?
My name is Michael Morris, the one and only Murder Juice of professional wrestling. Before I make my long-awaited return to the squared circle, I'm going to be stopping by the Huge Pop Entertainment podcast on October 29th to give the ins and outs of my professional wrestling career. Now, I'm warning you, hosts. You ask the right questions, you be respectful, and you stay in line, or I will cross state lines to come and murder you, mate. I'll see you on the 29th. My name is...
Wow. I'm pumped already. I'm pumped already, guys.
I'm pumped.
He told us to ask the right questions. All right.
I'll dig up the right questions on that one. We're going to dig it good with this one.
So
I've talked to him. He said nothing is off limits.
Nothing's off limits. Well, good. That's awesome.
But he will come across the state lines. You heard it live.
So I have to tell, man, I love the video. I shared it. It's awesome. It came at the right time. What way to end the show?
Absolutely perfect.
October 29th, Murder Mike. He just told us, ask the right questions. I'll cross the state lines. I'm in. Are you in, Bill?
I'm in. Oh, I'm in.
All right. It's been a Huge Pop Wrestling Podcast, and we'll check you out later, guys.
Have a good night.